Fitness influencer Rachel Dillon married entrepreneur Tobi Pearce in Italy late last week. The Pinterest-worthy wedding didn't go off without a hitch though.
Yeah, this really surprised me. So a couple of days out from the wedding, Rachel revealed on TikTok that she actually had to reschedule the date because of the weather. So the couple jetted off to Italy early last week and they'd been living it up in Capri. As all brides do, Sophie, you'll know this, they were keeping a keen eye on the weather report. And according to the weather report, it was set to rain on their wedding day. So it's currently spring in Italy. And while Rachel and Tobi had expected it to be a little bit cooler, they were hoping for a nice sunny day for their outdoor wedding. Now, 5 days out from the big day, Rachel's wedding planner organised an emergency meeting and she proposed rescheduling the wedding. It sounds worse than it is though, but they actually ended up moving the wedding celebrations 1 day forward, which meant that they would get sunshine on all of the wedding day events. So it was a multi-day wedding.
I was watching this eagerly because I really felt for Rachel, because a week out from my wedding, I found that it was going to be 35 degrees and it started to grow to 40 degrees. And a little bit of me was envious, thinking, gee, I wish I had the ability and the money to move everything a day forward or a day back. But unfortunately for me, we had a heat wave the whole weekend. So that was not a possibility.
Well, I don't think it would have been easy logistically, because it turned out that bringing the date forward meant that some of the guests who were traveling across from overseas ended up missing the welcome dinner.
Sorry, I thought you were going to say the wedding. Can you imagine that? It's just like, oh yeah, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
We care more about the weather.
You've flown all the way over there and you missed it.
Well, it was actually a very intimate wedding. So she and Tobi invited 50 guests. So there was only a handful that actually missed out on this welcome dinner. What I couldn't believe about this dinner was the fact that everyone has been focusing on what one of her bridesmaids, Isabel Mathers, wore. So Isabel, she is an influencer and model. She's fucking stunning. But so is Rachel Dillon. The whole wedding party were beautiful. I just couldn't get over how stunning they all looked together. So the Daily Mail have gone out and done this story about how Isabel tried to outshine the bride at this welcome dinner. So when you do look at the dress, it was very revealing. It is a sheer cream dress, sort of a bit like a ball gown. And it's got this diamond cutout where it shows off Isabel's abs. She looked stunning. But so did Rachel Dillon. She was wearing a short, cute, white dress that looked perfect for the event. They all looked good.
I don't like it because in this situation, it's actually the media who is pitting these two women against each other, because it would be a different scenario if Rachel came out after the wedding and said, hey, I was a little upset. My friend actually purposely tried to outshine me. Just say if she did that in some sort of question time.
Never happen.
No, but some people might. Some people do share stories and say, oh, I've had a falling out with this friend over X, Y, and Z.
It's usually years later.
Or years later. But I think that in this situation where everything seemed to be planned to the absolute T, Isabel would have got permission to wear that gown anyway.
She actually did come out and say that, because so the Daily Mail have picked up on this story because a couple of people in the comments said, oh, was an inappropriate dress for you to wear and you tried to outshine the bride. And she came out and said, the bride is my best friend. You don't think I've discussed every single one of my outfits with her?
Yeah, I don't like the whole outshining the bride thing, because I personally have the theory that if you get really dressed up for a friend's wedding, it's actually quite a compliment because you've made a big effort. I find it more offensive when people don't make an effort at someone's wedding.
Well, the thing is, it wasn't even at her wedding. It was at her bloody welcome dinner.
I have to disagree with you guys. I can see why people are up in arms about this. She has come along to this wedding dinner. Rachel is wearing white because she is the bride-to-be. This dress is like a sheer white dress. It's showing off her amazing abs. It kind of does, it does take the focus off what Rachel is wearing.
But Rachel wouldn't have included Isabel in her wedding if she was concerned about that. I mean, the girl is absolutely stunning. They're all stunning, as I said before, and they were getting ready together. So if they're best friends, surely there would have been a point where she could have said, do you mind not wearing that?
I think it's a really sad concept that anyone is outshining anyone, because as you said, Kate, Rachel is absolutely stunning in her own right. All of the women are stunning. Why is anyone outshining anyone?
I think people get confused when brides allow their bridesmaids to actually look nice at these events, because there is that old trope of a bride trying to dress their bridesmaids in some hideous dress that they never want to wear again and making them look bad in order for them to look better.
Yeah.
I just think it's clear that Rachel is very confident in herself and was like, I want everyone to look good.
I think it just reeks of insecurity to try and purposely make your bridesmaids look bad. They're your friends and they're there for a reason. You want them to feel confident and comfortable as well. Now, I want to get into the wedding day because I could not get over the place where they got ready. It looked straight from a Pinterest board.
Oh, that breakfast overlooking the mountains, that was incredible. I do love how Rachel's mum was keeping it real though, because they showed her steaming the dresses and it just reminded me of our mum doing the same thing.
I'm surprised they couldn't have just paid someone to be there to do that on the day.
Yeah, but that's why it was nice, because it was clearly a very expensive wedding, a lavish wedding. But then they had touches of, oh, that's so normal for them to do that. One thing that really stood out to me was how different this was to Kayla Edsinas's wedding. So Kayla and Tobi were, of course, engaged and they have a daughter, Anna, together. And Kayla was very open about the fact that she was happy to go to a registry office. She didn't care about having a big ceremony. She just wanted it to be her and Jay. Her PA actually talked her into having a wedding in her backyard. I mean, it wasn't your typical backyard wedding. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
But this wedding between Tobi and Rachel, this was a Pinterest wedding. This is one of the most beautiful weddings of an Australian influencer I have seen for a very long time.
It just shows you how different Rachel and Kayla are.
Even though they have both been compared the whole time and everyone's
Yeah.
like, oh, well, he's just dating another fitness influencer.
And of course, neither is right or wrong.
Yeah.
Like whichever way they want to get married. But it was quite interesting having the wedding so close and being able to compare the aesthetic and how they went about it.
Do you think Tobi had much to do with the wedding?
I actually do think it had to do with Tobi as well, because if you do cast your mind back, I think they had quite an elaborate engagement party, him and Kayla, back in the day.
I get the vibe he's more flash than
Yeah.
Kayla is.
Yeah. I think that this wedding is going to dictate a lot of wedding trends moving forward. She did have light yellow bridesmaid dresses, and I'm kicking myself because for the past 2 years I've been talking about wanting to do yellow bridesmaid dresses. I didn't have the nerve to do it, and now I'm seeing them pop up everywhere. Even Margot Robbie was in a wedding recently for her friend and was wearing a light yellow fucking bridesmaid dress.
Look,
Why did I do
my
it?
advice would be just to get over it, because once your
No one
wedding
cares.
is over,
No, I know.
by the time you get the wedding video, no one cares. I know you
No.
guys are getting yours soon, but I care.
No,
but
I mean, I think I've just got to unfollow a lot of these wedding pages. I think that's what you got to do.